to the beginning of that movie scene that the initiates who were being initiated into the secret society were inside of coffins. They popped out of the coffins and called it the rebirth process. This rebirth process is a psychological change in the initiate's consciousness because most people are dwelling inside the coffin. What do I mean by that? Today we call them NPCs. People who are so deeply unconscious, they don't even recognize they have an inner world, a spiritual world in their mind, thoughts. They don't even recognize that they exist. They're so unconscious, they think, feel, and act unconsciously and unknowingly create their reality. So being initiated is symbolic of opening out that coffin, coming out of that unconscious state and becoming more and more aware. Hence why the Freemasons show you a coffin on the bottom, and on the top they show you the zodiac signs, which is a symbol of light, going from darkness to light, from ignorance to becoming more conscious about the self. That's ultimately all it represents, and it doesn't take joining a secret society to figure this stuff out. You can do it all yourself. Eminem did a Masonic ritual at the introduction to his show. Here you can see the coffin, and at the beginning of the show he comes out the coffin and walks between these two pillars, which is a Masonic ritual of coming out of spiritual deadness and walking between the two pillars to walk upon the square. Hence why the debut, his live debut, is called Lucifer and the Square Dance. It's all symbolic of acting morally upright on the square. This is what Freemasons say. It's all a Masonic ritual. They just show this stuff in plain sight. So did you know the Egyptians encoded secret wisdom into their designs to help the individual who can read it progress in their spiritual journey? This is Tutankhamun's headdress, and if we take a close look at the headdress, we see that there is a serpent on his head, and the headdress itself looks like a serpent or a cobra. This is representing mental alchemy. Mental alchemy is transforming the mind from base awareness, negative thinking, into powerful thinking, because the serpent represents transformation. It can remove layers of its skin and renew itself. So this represents alchemy, transforming the mind, hence why the snake is on his head. And if we look even closer at the blue and gold stripes, this represents the sunrise, the sun rays, symbolizing illumination of the human mind, becoming more self-aware of what you are as an individual, not a physical body, but an infinite spark of the creative force of the universe. It's about renewing the self, transforming the self from fear-based thinking into powerful-based thinking, so you can become a conscious creator and create reality, so you become a master of life and reality. This is what this is ultimately symbolizing. This is why we need to study symbolism. Amazon is a Mason. And what's even crazier, if you go to the image of Jeff Bezos creating Amazon, you see on his desk Amazon.com, but what's even more interesting, you have the number 33, like the 33 degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. 33 is the number of death and rebirth, hence why it's in the triangle. The upright triangle is fire. Fire burns things down into its raw form. Then it can be transformed. So this is what the number 33 truly represents in the occult. It represents transforming yourself by destroying your old self to then to be spiritually reborn. It's all hidden in plain sight.
They've been showing you symbolism since a child. All of your favorite childhood programs are filled with occult symbolism. The eyes are useless if the mind is blind.
Really? I don't know. I'll stop all our domination plans. I'll pull my lizard men out of Congress. We'll stop using Hollywood to hasten the New World Order.
If you can't read symbolism, you are walking through life like a headless chicken. It is the most important language to learn in the world.
You have joined the sacred order of the stonecutters, who since ancient times have split the rocks of ignorance that obscure the light of knowledge and truth.
So here's Michael Jackson's album cover, and you can see he's showing you some occult symbolism of the black and white checkerboard floor. And here are some more. Cardi B. You have Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, 2 Chainz, with the 2 pillars and the checkerboard floor, which is also a Freemasonic symbol of the entrance of the Temple of Solomon. And again, the Temple of Solomon is yourself, and when you walk into the two pillars, it's symbolic for walking into your own mind and entering the mystery schools and learning about the functions of consciousness. Here you see 6-9 with the checkerboard pavement. The checkerboard pavement just simply represents base consciousness, hence why it's on the floor, only aware of the 5 senses, and their mind is stuck in many different personalities and illusions and duality thinking. When death comes, the only thing that truly matters is the level of consciousness that you have attained and the degree of self-mastery you have cultivated. Mastery of the soul is the only thing that counts in the end. If you leave this life without self-mastery, you will return to the physical cycle and repeat the lessons of existence until they are learned. But if you evolve and transform, you pass onward to greater cycles of consciousness. These are the two paths, the path of ignorance or the path of seeking. If you die with desire for the physical things, then your desire will manifest you back into the physical plane. But if you free yourself of desire for physical things and fleshly pleasures and place your desires on the spiritual things, and you do not have a heavy heart when you die, you will not recycle back into the physical plane, and you will ascend to a higher level of consciousness which matches your level of desire and thought. The universe is made of consciousness. Therefore, the true meaning of Satanism must be understood as a condition of consciousness, not a religion. The symbols of God and the devil represent different aspects of the human experience. They represent different ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving, the 3 expressions of consciousness. They are archetypes. God represents the unity of self in alignment with truth and natural law. Satan represents the breakdown of that unity. It is a state where thought, emotion, and behavior are out of harmony. It is the disconnection from love, empathy, and truth. This is not just a metaphor, it is an actual condition of mind and soul. Satanism is not a religion, it is a condition of consciousness, a way of thinking, feeling, and acting, and expressing consciousness. Freemasons hide their secret symbols even within architecture. This is called the Gates of Europe inside Madrid. Now I want you to bring your attention to this monument down here for Jose Calvo Sotelo. And if we have a little look at who this person was, we see him doing a Freemasonic hand gesture called the hidden hand. So he was a Freemason. And what even confirms this is that this is the Gate of Europe, just like the gate, the entrance to the Temple of Solomon, symbolized by the 2 pillars, which is the 2 buildings and the middle pillar. So whenever you see a person standing in between 2 pillars on a piece of artwork, it's basically saying they are the initiate who's going into the gate, into the mystery school, into the occult school, because these pillars represent the masculine and feminine forces of consciousness. And the person or the path in the middle is the path to enlightenment or the path to unity consciousness. So this is why you see the initiate standing in between this gate. It's a symbolic gate into higher consciousness or the Temple of Solomon. Jews are so rich because they understand Kabbalah. So Judaism is just a religion, but on the back end of Judaism, you have what we call Kabbalah, just like how Christianity has Christianity, and on the back end of Christianity, you have Gnosticism. It's the mystical version of Judaism. And the Kabbalah pretty much teaches you the diagram and the blueprint of how consciousness creates reality. Because in Kabbalah, they don't teach you like Christianity, where God created the world thousands of years ago and now you are just experiencing the world. Kabbalah is the complete opposite. Kabbalah teaches you that the world is not created, but creating in the present moment. Creation is being created by God in the present moment, and you are a co-creator with that source. You are also contributing towards steering this creation into a specific agenda. So in Kabbalah, they teach you how to use these different forces of consciousness and how to manifest them down into Malkuth, which is earth. It's a blueprint of how consciousness turns into reality. So the reason why Jews are so rich is because they understand how the material world is created, and they desire to create material things through the teachings of Kabbalah. The scariest part about having your first out-of-body experience is the realization that you have been lied to your whole life about the earth, what you are, your capabilities, and what you're doing on the earth. The good thing you get out of it is that you realize that you are eternal and you will never truly die. You realize with absolute certainty that you are far more than your physical form. This recognition transforms your life because you carry this living awareness that you are eternal. Death loses its power over you. You take bold steps because you understand that nothing can truly end you, and nothing can use the fear of death to control you. Human beings fear the unknown because ignorance creates a shadow. Any fear you hold in your life arises from a gap in understanding a specific dimension of reality or field of knowledge. The only knowledge that truly matters is the knowledge of yourself, because the knowledge of yourself can be carried on eternally. The Matrix is designed to keep you trapped in rabbit holes and certain conspiracy theories and useless information to never actually discover your true capabilities and the power of consciousness. The worst thing that happened to me when I stopped believing in Jesus is the fact that I was then 100% accountable for my reality. If something bad happened, I could no longer blame Satan or God for this bad thing happening in my reality. It was me, it was my responsibility to change it. The reason why I changed over is because I had a great realization one day. The mind seeks to validate everything it believes. If you believe in Jesus and you were in a car crash and survived, you would say Jesus saved you. If you believed in Allah and you were in a car crash and survived, you would say Allah saved you. Which means the only truth that remains the same is the substance of mind itself, not the belief the mind believes, if you can get your head around that. So then I realized the only truth is the substance of mind itself, not the illusion that the mind is believing. So why don't I study the substance of mind, which is then, you realize, is the substance of God, consciousness. Don't get lost in the illusions that the mind can create. Study the substance of mind itself, and that will lead you to consciousness, which is the very fabric of God. I made the mistake of trying to force awakening onto friends and family early on in my journey, and it only destroyed my connections and relationships with them. Because they alienate you, they call you crazy and a conspiracy theorist. The best thing you can do instead is to simply plant a seed with great evidence or a video if the conversation comes up into topic, and let that seed grow over time. You have to remember, people can only see reality through the lens of their belief systems, and then belief systems have been formed for years in their subconscious mind, and it's very difficult to see through them. So what you have to do is to plant the seed and let it grow in their mind over time, and they will come back to you one day more than likely and say you were right, you were correct. And then you go deeper with them. Never reveal information people's minds aren't ready for. If they ask, give it them. Knock and you shall receive. There's a verse in the Bible that has been purposely taken out to stop you from healing from your sickness and disease. Matthew 17:21 says, "Do not go without prayer and fasting." And this is talking about being cured and regenerating the body, to give some context. But in most Bibles, it goes from Matthew 17:20, skips 21, and goes straight to Matthew 17:22. And this verse has been removed. Prayer and fasting is how you regenerate your body. But what is prayer? But if you go to Mark 11:24, it says, "Whatever ye pray and ask for, believe that ye have received them, and ye shall have them." So this is talking about communicating with your subconscious mind. If you cut your skin, what happens? You get an open wound. Your subconscious mind instantly sends blood, minerals to the wound, and it instantly heals and produces a scab. automatically. Your conscious mind does not have to do that. Your body knows how to regenerate itself. You have to pray, which is communication with your subconscious, believe that you have been healed, and fast. This is how to communicate with your subconscious and your body. There's only one verse in the Bible that has been purposely not translated so you do not figure out the powers of astrology. Yes, if you go to Job 38:32, and it says, "Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in his season? Knowest thou the audience of the heavens?" This is talking about astrology. But what is the Mazzaroth? The Mazzaroth is Hebrew for 12 signs. But this is the only word in the Bible that they decided not to translate. I wonder why that is. It's because they do not want you to understand the influences of the Pleiades or the bands of Orion, the influences of the heavens. They do not want you understanding astrology, because astrology brings you power once you understand it. 11 from Stranger Things is not just a character, but a code which reveals a deep truth about yourself. Take a look at her name, 11. The number 11 is highly symbolic inside of Freemasonry for the two Jachin and Boaz pillars. These two pillars represents the world outside the mind, symbolized by the sun, what you can see. The physical body is the world outside the mind, and the lunar pillar represents the world inside the mind, the person inside the mind, which is the internal self who thinks, the internal self. This is why 11 can meditate and access the upside down, symbolizing her mind can access the astral plane, the internal worlds of consciousness. She brings the knowledge from the internal world, the upside down astral plane, and brings it out into the outside world of the physical plane and uses that knowledge to navigate reality. She holds the powers of accessing the inner and outer world. That's why her name is 11. She accesses the physical plane and the astral plane. Christmas is sun worship, and the sun is related to Jesus. So if we take a look at the sun, we see that the sun moves away from the northern hemisphere towards the south, which then creates the winter in the northern hemisphere. But on December 22nd, 23rd and 24th, the sun no longer moves south. It remains in the same degree for 3 days on the southern crux constellation, which is the cross. The ancients saw this as the death of the sun, as the sun would not move a degree on these 3 days. This is when Jesus is in the cave for 3 days, because they saw this as the sun symbolically dying. Then on December 25th, which is Christmas Day, the sun no longer moves south, going away from the northern hemisphere. It moves 1 degree north, bringing back the longer days, the light, the warmth. So December 25th is the celebration of the rebirth of the sun, bringing back the warmth to the northern hemisphere so they could grow crops, have longer days, and bring back the summertime. It's the rebirth of light. So the sun dies on a cross for 3 days in a cave and is resurrected on the December 25th, which is all the symbol of Jesus. This is why Jesus has 12 disciples for the 12 zodiac signs, 4 gospels for the 4 seasons of the sun. So all of this is symbolic for the sun. The story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden is the beginning of your incarnation, not the beginning of creation. Sit down and take some pen and paper, because this is about to go deep. The Garden of Eden represents the state you were in when you were first created and born into this world. You had no personal identity. You had no ego. You did not suppress aspects of yourself to fit in with society. You weren't scared of other people judging you. As a child, you were unified with yourself. You did not care about anything else judging you. You saw your parents as an extension of you. You were unified with your parents, your family, and nature. You were in a state of unification. But as you grew older, you left the Garden of Eden. As your consciousness grew, it began to fracture. The brain developed, and ego began to form. The right hemisphere of the brain, which sees holistically and intuitively, was dominant in childhood. As you imagined things, you were very creative, and you were very holistic as a child. The left brain started to develop and started to take over as you grew older, because the left brain starts to become self-aware. Now this is where Eve, the feminine, the right hemisphere, eats the apple. She eats the apple because eating is a symbol of destruction and transformation. The left hemisphere starts to take over and transform how your mind functions. And this is why when they eat the apple, they realize they are naked in the Garden of Eden, which is symbolic of becoming self-conscious. As you grow older, you become self-aware that you have your own personal identity, your own life, your own thoughts, emotions, and actions. And as you become self-aware of yourself and society, you start to suppress aspects of yourself to fit in with the rest of society. You become scared of other people judging you, which means your consciousness fractures. You are no longer unified with your internal world. You start to wear a mask to fit in, to protect yourself from being judged, and to fit in with society. This is the psychological fall from Eden. You fall, your mind fractures as you grow older. This is the story of leaving the Garden of Eden. It is a process from going from unity into divided consciousness as your brain develops. Our goal now is to unify again with our true inner child. If you've ever watched Stranger Things, then you might have missed this scene where they show you the truth. The mark of the beast 666 is closer than you think, and it's actually quite scary when you realize what it actually is. Now, it's a code that must be broken down. And I have broken this code down, so let me show you what this is. The number 6 represents the cube, because the cube has 6 sides, and everything in the physical dimension has 6 sides, up, down, backwards, forwards, left and right. Your body is a cube. It's the physical world, the simulation, matter. Now the number 3, because there are 3 6s, represents the 3 expressions of consciousness. Consciousness thinks, it feels, it acts. It's mental, it's emotional, it's physical. Consciousness creates in the material world 6 through 3 ways. When your consciousness thinks, feels, and acts only towards the 6, the cube, the physical world, that is the mark of the beast. When you give all of your power, your thought, emotion, and action only to materialism, which locks your consciousness in chasing material validation, pleasures, and things of the world. That disconnects you from spirituality. 666 is when your consciousness is only giving power to the material things, cutting off your spirituality, leaving no room for true connection with the divine and your higher self. That is what 666 truly is. You become the mark of the beast by feeding the animal within your mind. So this image of the White House has been going viral recently for President Trump supposedly placing a Baphomet figure inside the White House. Now, I know this appears to be true, but President Trump did not do this. This has always been there before Trump became president. However, it's still interesting, but this is what's even crazier if you look at this. So this is an occult symbol. This is the Baphomet, but this is where it goes even deeper. If you look at the mirror and look below the mirror, you have your Freemasonic symbol, the double-headed eagle, an eagle looking right, an eagle looking left. This is the 33rd degree symbol for the 33rd degree Freemason, the double-headed eagle, ordo ab chaos, order out of chaos, 33. You can see the similarities here. So this is all occult symbolism. Freemasons use this symbol, which is the same symbol for Apple Store, and X when it's mirrored. This symbol is a compass on top and a square below. The square creates a square which has beginning and an end. The compass creates a circle which has no beginning and no end. If the compass is the circle, which means spirit, and square is the square, which is matter, this symbolizes spirit over matter, the compass over the square. Leonardo da Vinci was showing you that you are a spiritual being in a material body. You are an individual. You have a physical body and a non-physical body. The voice in your head and the emotions you feel are eternal, but your physical body will die. The spiritual brain is the mind.
The spiritual heart is the soul. The brain and heart are physical manifestations of the mind and soul. The aim is to climb the pyramid to higher consciousness, to your true spirit self, so that you can be spirit over matter and not matter over spirit. They show you these symbols in plain sight. These people are highly enlightened individuals. You will never have power if you don't have knowledge. Knowledge is the true currency of this life. Use code 25 off for the next 12 hours. After 12 hours, it will be going down to 15% off. Porn is free because you pay with your soul. Google is free because you pay with your data. When something is free, you are the product. They have 2 O's because they're watching your data. Your phone is a digital footprint of your mind. Every text you take, every person you call, every search that you type in is being recorded in a database. Therefore, your phone is tracking the collective minds of the masses. All of our behavior is being fed into an artificial consciousness, AI. You created AI by feeding your mind into these tracking devices. AI will control everything and make you a slave. Don't let your phone be a prison for your mind. That's why it's called a cell phone. Instead, spread the word to the world by reposting these videos that I make and earn an income from your phone. Many of my affiliates have quit their job, earning freedom, making an income from their phone. It's not about the money, it doesn't exist. It's the freedom you can gain from it and live the life that you truly want to live. Click sign up, fill in the form, download my videos, and repost the videos. I've made this program for you so you can gain freedom and so we can spread an amazing message to the world. The link is in my bio to sign up. Demon is D-mon. Mon is moon, meaning emotion. D means negative. A demon is a negative emotion which possess your mind, body, and spirit. These entities are created by your own thought forms. You feed them by giving them mental and emotional energy. Every addiction you have is an astral entity that you have created. The more thoughts and emotions that you give to these entities, the stronger impact they have over your physical body. I, Magi Nation, you are a magician bringing thought and emotions into physical reality. You've been doing magic your whole life. The easiest way to tell if a corporation is associated with Freemasonry is called the concept of 3 and 4. McDonald's, the M is the 3 and the square is the 4, 3 and 4. Dominoes, 1, 2, 3 dots inside of a rectangle, 4 sides. The 3 and the 4 come from the Masonic square and compass. The compass has 3 points and the square creates a square which is the number 4. So this is 3 and 4. The Masons even put this in their architecture. The roof is a 3, which is the triangle, and your 4 pillars below. The 3 and the 4 is basically looking at the compass and the square. The reason why the elites are the elites and rule over the masses is because they understand this one thing: human consciousness. If you play Grand Theft Auto and you do not understand the buttons and the controller to play Grand Theft Auto, you will not get the best cars, all the money, and the penthouse. If you don't understand the buttons, you can't play the game. If you want to win the game of life, you have to understand the buttons, and the buttons to control reality is consciousness, the occult. The elites understand human consciousness to the T, and this is why they use this knowledge against people who do not understand this information. If you do not understand your mind and someone else does, they will use you. So this is why knowledge is power, and this is why I created my books. This is why I created my university, to teach you how to think, to train your mind, to master your consciousness. You don't have to go through me. There are thousands of books out there you can read and start studying this stuff. I'm just the messenger.